Ellen Dimock, our keynote speaker.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Excuse me. He's been gone 15 years, my everyday Memorial Day. I remember it like it was yesterday. Thank you for joining me here today and my family. I am honored and humbled to share with you what Memorial Day means to me. It is not like any other day or holiday. It is a day to honor, a day to remember, a day to understand the men and women who lost their lives in service to their country, our country, in a time of war. I will be telling you about one of those brave men. I will be telling you my Joey story. Thank you, Jim, Steve, and the Gurnee Legion for having me here today. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Ellen Dimock. I am a Gold Star mother. I am the wife of 37 years to a great guy, Joseph. He is my rock and the father to our children. In March of 1989, we bought our home in Wildwood, and a few months later, our first son, Joey, was born on May 25th. 17 months after that, along came Louie, and 4 years later, Michael. I am a proud mom of 3 Eagle Scouts from Troop 672 out of Wildwood Presbyterian Church. I would like to tell you about one of those Eagle Scouts, Joey. They came to the door on a hot July afternoon. My son Michael came to the top of the basement stairs to tell me that someone was here to see me. As I came up the stairs, I asked him if it was a man or a woman, a friend or a foe. With each question, he would answer, "Mom." As I made my way up the stairs, through the kitchen, and around the corner to see the front door, as soon as I saw them, there was a scream. Was that me? I had never heard that sound before. We invited them in. The house was a mess. I started to sit. They started to talk. I would cry. They would stop. I would be okay, and they would start again. Your son. No, wait. Call Greg. I want Greg here. There's been an accident. No, wait. What? Joey? Oh my God, he was just here. He had just left. He wanted me to send him a care package. Mrs. Dimock, are you okay? Yes, yes, go on. At 5 a.m. this morning. Oh no, stop. Stop. This is what Memorial Day sounds like. He's been gone 15 years. My everyday Memorial Day. I remember it like it was yesterday. It is hard to think back to when I was younger about Memorial Day and what it meant to me. But as I was growing up, I heard the same ads that you do today. We have a great Memorial Day sale. Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day is the start of summer and family barbecues. In our society of yesterday and today, Memorial Day is all of that to me and my family, though it is so much more. For a family who lost a family member in active duty to our country, it is not a happy Memorial Day weekend. It is not a great shopping weekend. It is much more than that. Joey grew up in Wildwood, a nice neighborhood, just like the one you grew up in. He had a family just like you, a mom, a dad, 2 brothers, maybe just like you. He had a family who loved him. He went to school just like you. He graduated high school probably just like you. I am trying to help you to understand Joey and share with you how he was just like you and me. Back in his grade school days when he was 7 years old, he came running in from school with a flyer about joining Cub Scouts in his hand. He was so excited. He couldn't wait until his dad got home from work to share it with him. He successfully encouraged his dad to go to the event, and soon after, Joey's scouting journey started in 1996. Over time, we became a scouting family when Joey's brothers joined him in the scouting experience. Their dad, Joseph, also got more involved and found himself the cub master of the pack in 2001. Joey graduated 8th grade and joined the church in May of 2003. Which brings me to Joey's Eagle Project. May 2005, Joey set about collecting tattered American flags. The goal was to collect as many as possible and for them to be retired properly. He, along with the efforts of his fellow scouts, collected over 200 flags. They were cut and burned with dignity and respect at a local forest preserve. Joey made Eagle in December of 2005 at the age of 16. What does all of this mean to you? Probably nothing, but I am trying to help you to honor, to remember, and to understand the brave men and women who gave their all in service to our country. They are and were just like you and me. In April 2007, I was sitting at our dining table scrapbooking when Joey came home. He was not alone. He brought the recruiter with him. Joey needed papers signed for him to be able to commit to joining the Army because he was 17 years old at the time. I remember the recruiter standing there, papers in his hand, and watching him shake. Oh my gosh, I can still see Joey jumping up and down and telling me that this is what he wanted. I told him that they would probably be harder on him than I ever was. He continued to say, "Yes, Mom, this is what I want." And with that, I signed the papers. He's been gone 15 years. My everyday Memorial Day. I do remember it like it was yesterday. May of 2007, Joey graduated Warren Township High School and turned 18. In August of that year, Joey went on his last youth group mission trip, and later that month, he departed for basic training in the United States Army at Fort Benning, Georgia. After he left the first time, it was not like sending him off to college. We did not know any of the things he would be doing or how he might be dealing with it all. He had to earn phone calls home, and they were far and few between. He did his training with the 198th Infantry Brigade from August to November of 2007. We all joined Joey at Fort Benning that November for his graduation from infantry training. It was quite exciting and quite an honor. What an event it was. All the young men lined up in their matching uniforms, such straight rows, the sounds, the smoke, the vehicles, the music. With a march past the grandstands, Joey was now a deployable soldier. After a few ceremonies and a quick lunch with new friends, we got to bring Joey home with us that November. And we became a Blue Star family. It is an all-American tradition to display a Blue Star service banner in the window of a home when a loved one is proudly serving in the United States Armed Forces. As Americans support troops deployed overseas, the Blue Star service banner is a reminder that war touches every neighborhood. At the end of December, Joey headed back to Fort Benning. He was not quite done with his training to become a ranger. He completed airborne school in February of 2008. May of that year, I attended Joey's graduation from RIP, Ranger Indoctrination Program. It is training where they decide whether or not you are mentally and physically fit to become a ranger. While I was there, I bought Joey a present for his 19th birthday, a pocket knife. He needed to carry one with him at all times for personal defense, which was now part of his training. Joey earned a certificate of graduation, which awarded him the right to wear the Ranger tan beret while assigned to the 75th Ranger Regiment. He made it. Hello to all my friends I'm seeing out here. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you. In August of 2008, Joey came home for a moment. My son Louis has a wonderful story here. It's not mine to tell, but I think it has something to do with sneaking out of the house after saying goodnight, a car ride, and a cigar. I believe Joey told us they were getting ready to leave. He couldn't even use the word deploy. We never knew anything about his deployments, when, where, or how they left. It was the Ranger way. Later, we found out Joey was deployed to Iraq in October 2008 to February 2009. 5 months. That's all I know about that deployment. I don't know much about Rangers, but I believe they are deployed for short periods of time because they do go after the 10 most wanted. And when their feet hit the ground, they are working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. In February of '09, Joey came home. You could hear the thud of his car stereo coming down the streets. The windows would shake and rattle. Every visit became so precious. We celebrated Christmas for a moment that year. Joey had to get back to Fort Benning for his intense training to date, Ranger School, a 60-day combat leadership training orientated to small capital. The best way to describe it, survival training. It became harder and harder for me to watch him leave. Thud, thud, thud. This training was incredibly involved. It has three distinct parts. One is not like the other. Part one is Darby for 20 days. Part two is a mountain phase for 20 days. And part three is the Everglades for 20 days. There is no rank. Everyone learns to do every job. There are long marches, int- intense training on taking objectives, and learning how to work as a unit. You have to pass each phase. If you do not, you are recycled and you go back and do it again. Joey passed. He went straight through. Only 20% pass without recycling. May of 2009, Joseph traveled to Fort Benning for another one of Joey's graduations. Joey was so proud. We were all just so immensely proud. This is when Joey earned his U.S. Army Ranger with tab, which means he passed. He passed Ranger School. He was a true U.S. Army Ranger. This is what he wanted. In July of 2009, on this visit home, we found out what a great poker player Joey was. He won a trophy at the annual Hollister Incorporated family picnic. He wore his sunglasses the entire time he was playing, just like they do on TV. When it was time for him to leave again, we would just stand there and watch him drive away. The thud, the thud, the thud. In August, Joey was again deployed, his second, which took him to Afghanistan. He was there until December 2009, 4 months. Shortly after arriving, Joey and his fellow soldiers lost two of their own. I will never forget that phone call home. I could tell something was wrong, that something had happened. I remember him telling me that he had lost someone. I asked if I could get a name. That was very stupid of me, actually. There was no response. So I asked for just initials. EH. EH was all he said. I knew nothing of EH, just that he lost his life and a mom somewhere was suffering, and that a family's blue star had turned gold. At some point, my son had tattoos inked across his back, ones that a friend designed. And somewhere down the line, he added the Ranger logo on his right side, just under his arm. With the loss of his friends, Joey made his body into their memorial. He had had their initials tattooed under the Ranger logo. You could tell from the picture that it was pretty fresh, for the area was still quite red. EH and JD, August 28, 2009, were added to his side. I found out later, after Joey died, it was a battle where both Eric and Jason lost their lives on a mountainside somewhere in Afghanistan. It was one of the worst battles to that date. We never talked about it again. Joey came home to Wildwood in June of 2010 for 2.5 weeks. Our house was under a huge renovation, and Joey had to sleep on the couch. Joseph took the boys golfing, one of their favorite things to do. I remember Joey cooked for us a couple of times on this visit. He had become particularly good at grilling, and the Joey burger was made a couple of times, and boy, were they good. With each visit home, we knew there was a deployment in Joey's future. We knew he was getting ready to leave. I hated this part. I hated watching him drive away. Thud, thud, thud. Joey's third deployment took him back to Afghanistan, Salerno, Afghanistan, in July of 2010. We knew he was leaving, but you must understand, Joey being a U.S. Army Ranger, we had no idea where he was going. It was not until his final trip home that we found out where he had gone and then learned of all of his deployments. I remember him saying he could not tell us about any of his deployments because he took an oath. Because he chose to live his life by the Ranger Creed, we understood. We didn't like not knowing, but we understood. While in Afghanistan on this deployment, one of his duties as an ammunition specialist was to inventory the ammunition left over from the unit of Rangers before him. While conducting this inventory, an explosion occurred. From what we heard, Joey was tended to right away. A call went out over the loudspeakers that a man was down and that they needed blood. I have read that the line of donors was one of the longest lines the base had ever seen. I actually find this part of Joey's story, as crazy it is, a little funny. For while in high school, Joey donated his blood at the many school blood drives. After Joey's private battle of 5 hours, at 10:03 a.m. on 10 July 2010, in Salerno, Afghanistan, he lost his life from his wounds. He had just turned 21 on May 25th. We became a Gold Star family. A Gold Star banner is used to convey the honor and glory deserving of the individual who had made the supreme sacrifice for his country. And on that day, we replaced our blue Service Star banner with a Gold Star banner. He's been gone 15 years. My everyday Memorial Day. I do remember it like it was yesterday. The next day, we needed to contact family and friends to let them know what had happened, that Joey was gone. Greg and Kathy, our pastors at the time, watched over us so closely. They made sure we had everything we needed, even though we did not know what that was. Our CAO, Casualty Assistance Officer, came to our home. Plans were being made to get us to Dover to receive Joey. Once we landed, we were guided to a van that took us to the hotel from the airport. We needed to make so many phone calls. So many people needed to know that Joey had died. We got to the hotel and were met with so many soldiers. Soldiers who did not know us, but were there to take care of us, even though we didn't know what that was. We settled into our rooms, waiting for what? It was actually a very confusing time, for we had not yet heard what the true story was as to what had happened. Soon after, there was a knock on the door. A soldier was standing there, a ranger, an incredibly young ranger, Jesse. He told us he was there to watch over Joey until he was brought home. Jesse was one of Joey's brothers and now one of our guardian angels. This is what Memorial Day sounds like. Soon after we left for the airfield, we were taken care of, even though we didn't know what that was. Calling Greg, our pastor, and hearing him pray with us and for us was so comforting. Moments later, Elijah came to us. Great name, Elijah. He was the ranger who flew from Afghanistan to Dover with Joey, another one of Joey's brothers, another one of our guardian angels. We were led to the tarmac. It was so quiet. It was so dark. You truly could have heard a pin drop. There was a huge plane there, and the silence was broken with the noises of the unloading, the respectful unloading of 4 caskets. This is what Memorial Day sounds like. Joey came home with 3 other soldiers that day who had lost their lives in various other conflicts. We will continue to honor. We will continue to remember Army Sergeant Robert Crow, Army Staff Sergeant Sean Mittler, and Army Specialist Carlos Negron. Because it is Memorial Day, I would like to take a moment and remember these Gold Star families. Joey returned home to Illinois on July 17, 2010, in a private jet to a hero's welcome. From the Waukegan airport to the funeral home, Route 120 was lined with fire trucks, people with flags, strangers with flags, scouts from different troops and packs with flags, friends and neighbors. They were all holding and waving American flags. As far as the eye could see, Route 120 through Wildwood to the funeral home, flags. Traffic was stopped. Traffic stopped for a moment to welcome our son home. We buried Joey on July 20th, 2010. For the last, what will be 15 Memorial Days, my family and I have gone to the cemetery where our son Joey is laid to rest. We gather with friends and family where we honor him, we remember him, and we celebrate him. Joey is missed every day of every month of every year. In his short military career, Joey earned the Expert Rifleman Badge, Basic Parachutist's Badge, Combat Infantry Badge, Ranger Tab, Overseas Ribbon, National Defense Ribbon, Good Conduct Ribbon, Army Service Ribbon, Global War on Terrorist Ribbon, Army Commendation Medal, Iraqi Campaign Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, and the Bronze Star. Rangers lead the way. We will honor him. We will remember him. And now I hope you understand my everyday Memorial Day. When Colonel Michael Foster of the United States Army Rangers came to Wildwood Presbyterian Church to deliver their final report back in February 2001, when all was said and done, I told him I did not know what to do next. He told me to continue to tell our story, to continue to tell Joey's story. He's been gone 15 years. My everyday Memorial Day. Joey, son, brother, friend, Eagle Scout, U.S. Army Ranger. Yesterday was Joey's 36th birthday. There was no celebration. There was no cake, no candles to blow out, no pinch to grow an inch. There were, however, some tears, a silent moment, a remembrance moment, a memorial moment. Honor, remember, understand. Rangers lead the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.